Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make turkey and dumplings. So everything you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make this, and we're using a shortcut method. Instead of going through the whole process of making the dumplings from scratch, which I do quite often, we're going to use jumbo biscuits, which they're so easy to do. You're just basically going to roll them out a little bit, cut them up, and they're going to cook up just like dumplings do anyway. And then we're going to mix it with the rest of the ingredients you see here. And if you're wondering what the container with the blue lid is, it's just some chicken bouillon to add some flavor to this. But this is what you're going to need to do this. And you're going to need at least 2.5 to 3 cups of turkey that are like leftovers, because I had mine left over from Christmas. So basically, I'm taking this, cutting it up into smaller pieces. We don't want huge pieces in this, because basically, this is going to have to fit onto a spoon or a fork or whatever, and you don't want it to be jumbo. So we want to try to cut this up to kind of like smaller cubish size, so that way when we eat this, you're going to use this to pick up your dumplings and your turkey all at the same time, and you don't want it to be overloaded where everything won't fit on whatever you're eating with. So basically, just make sure you cut these up into small enough pieces to where that way they're manageable and you can actually get this in your mouth with a dumpling. So go ahead, cut up all that you have here. Like I said, this is going to be 2.5 to 3 cups worth, depending on how much you want to put in there. I think mine's kind of erring on the side of 3 cups, but just get it all cut up. You don't have to do anything, no muss, no fuss, because this has already been cooked. So that's the best part about it. It's already ready to roll, and that's really great. So now we're going to take our can of biscuits, pop them open, put some flour onto your countertop or whatever you're using to actually put these out onto, and then you're really just going to take your hand and take a biscuit, put it over the floured area, and then once you've got it there, just push it down and pat it out to where it just basically flattens out. And then we're going to take like a pizza cutter and cut across, and then cut across that to where you've cut these into smaller pieces, and then break them up, set them to the side. And as we're doing this, we want to make sure they get coated with flour, because the flour is going to help these, one, not stick together, but two, it's going to thicken up the gravy that goes inside of the turkey and dumplings, because we want to make sure that it's actually thickened a little bit. So just go ahead and work your way through all of these. It really doesn't take much time at all to do them, because I think that in one of these jumbos there's like maybe 8 biscuits, I'm not sure, but anyway, just go ahead, cut them all up. Make sure that the size is kind of small on these. We don't want them jumbo, because we're going to put these into a pot and they are going to swell up when they cook, so we want to make sure there's room for them. So when you're doing this, you will need a large pot, so it's just going to have enough room in there for you to actually move these around and not break them up and you destroy them as you're doing this. So just go ahead and work your way through until you've got these all done. Now once they are done, you kind of want to jumble them up, make sure there's flour around them, and if you have some flour left in your container, put it over the top of them and just kind of mix them through. That way we're going to make sure that they definitely have that little coating on the outside. And as you can see, this is quite a few dumplings that come out of this. So just sprinkle them a little bit, move them around a little bit, and set them to the side until we're ready. Now in a big pot or Dutch oven, we're going to add about 1.5 cups of water. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of that chicken bouillon to this. It's just going to give it some flavor, because we're actually going to add some chicken broth in later, which has flavor of its own. But we're just kind of like stretching this out a little bit, because you have 1.5 cups of this water, and then we're going to blend 4 cups of chicken broth, and a small container is 4 cups. So it kind of works. So we're going to add our condensed soup here, which this is just basically the chicken. And we're going to put this into our pot and get ready to mix this through, because we want to make sure we break this up. So go ahead and get that all out of your can. And then once it's in there, we're going to just totally mix it through. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of condensed cream with chicken soup you use, just as long as you get that small can, and you're good. So go ahead and stir this through. I suggest using a slotted spoon. It helps break it up. Now, sometimes in these cream of chicken soups, there are little pieces of chicken in the bottom of the can. So if you see something in here that's moving around with my spoon, it's probably a piece of chicken, because they put them in there. Now we're putting some seasoning to this. We have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of Creole seasoning, which I use Zatarain's. And just mix that through a little bit, and then we're going to bring in the chicken broth, which, like I said, there's 4 cups in this container, which is just one of the regular small containers. And we're totally like pouring this in there, and then we're going to mix it up again just to make sure that it's all in. And then once we get this all mixed through, we're going to actually try to bring the temperature of this up a little bit by going to medium-high heat. And then once we get that going, we're going to add our turkey to the pot. So as you can see, my temperature is up. So we're going to bring in this turkey and just put in every bit that you have, even the scraps or the little tiny pieces, because in the end they still work to actually flavor. And just go ahead and get this all in. And you want to like move this around a little bit to get it coated, because everything that's in this pot needs to be all over that turkey. We don't want to leave it sitting on the top and not getting mixed through. And just go ahead and stir it around. Now once we get this totally in here and we get this up to temperature, and we want to actually get this to where it's just about a boil, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in the biscuits that we cut up that are going to be our dumplings. So just make sure that you get this totally hot, and then afterwards start adding them in, but just add a couple at a time. We don't want them touching each other as they're going in immediately into the water. We want to make sure that it basically has a chance to actually get coated before you have a large amount of these in there touching each other. So go ahead and just drop them in on different sides as you're doing it. And then once it's in, we want to actually just make sure we move this around a little bit just to make sure they're totally coated. But they're going to have to cook in here anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes for this to be done. And I suggest putting a lid on it, because that's going to help to do it. But during that time that it's cooking, you might want to come back maybe 2-3 times and stir this, because as these dumplings plump up, they're going to get quite large and they're going to sit on the surface and the turkey's going to sit underneath. And you kind of want to mix them through just to make sure that, one, they're getting coated and not totally sticking together, but two, that everything is getting mixed through, like the turkey comes to the top a little bit. So go ahead and get them all in there, then stir it up a little bit. Then, like I said, put a lid on this. So we're going to cook it on like a medium to high heat for about like 15 to 20 minutes. And the whole thing of this is we want to cook this where everything just basically merges together and has such a great taste, and that you can taste all of that chicken broth and everything else that was in the bottom of there, as well as the turkey, and the dumplings take on some flavor. So once you've done this for about 15 minutes, go through and stir it periodically, but I would definitely check it at 15 minutes. Mine here is about like 17 minutes and it's done. And this is what it looks like. And when you spoon through this, you get the turkey coming up through. And I gotta tell you, this is such a great thing to eat. The only thing that you have to remind yourself is this is not chicken and dumplings, it's turkey and dumplings, and it kind of will like throw you at times because you're expecting chicken when it's really not, it's turkey. But this is a great meal. It's easy to make. This is mine on my plate, and I gotta tell you, this tastes so good, and I think you just might like it. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.